The scorching sun blazed with an unyielding intensity, casting an oppressive blanket of heat over the bustling gas station. Vicky, a dedicated and tireless attendant, moved with practiced agility from one pump to the next, her face shimmering with a mix of perspiration and an indefatigable smile. Despite the searing temperatures and the ceaseless flow of customers, she maintained her poise, greeting each person with a warmth that seemed to defy the day's sweltering heat. Her hands, experienced and efficient, swiftly assisted a family in refueling their minivan before helping a young woman grappling with a stubborn gas pump. As Vicky completed her tasks, she noticed an elderly man approaching the station with slow, uncertain steps. His clothes were worn and tattered, his movements unsteady, and his eyes darted around with a mixture of confusion and deep-seated worry etched into his weathered face. "Excuse me, miss," he began, his voice trembling with vulnerability. "I've forgotten my wallet at home and don't have enough money to pay for the gas I've already pumped." Vicky paused, her eyes locking onto his with a penetrating gaze. The sincerity in his voice was undeniable, and she could see the anxiety in his eyes, a worry that transcended the immediate situation and hinted at deeper, lingering concerns. Stepping closer, her expression softened with genuine empathy. "Don't worry," Sir Vicky said gently, her voice soothing. "We'll figure something out." Reaching into her own purse, she carefully counted out the exact amount needed and handed it to him, her smile reassuring. "You can pay me back whenever you get the chance." Lewis, as he introduced himself, was visibly moved. His eyes glistened with unshed tears as he took the money with trembling hands. "Thank you," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I promise I'll come back to pay you." Vicky nodded, her eyes reflecting a genuine trust in his promise. As Lewis turned to leave, her colleagues, who had been watching the scene unfold, began to murmur among themselves. "Are you serious?" one of them scoffed. "You actually believe that old man? He's probably just scamming you." "Yeah," another chimed in, smirking. "There are always swindlers around here. You've just been played, Vicky." Vicky's expression momentarily hardened as she listened to their derisive comments. She took a deep breath and turned to face her colleagues. "I believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt," she said firmly. "Not everyone is out to deceive. Sometimes people just need a little help." Her colleagues exchanged skeptical glances but said no more. Vicky watched Lewis walk away, his steps a bit steadier, a small piece of paper with his name and address clutched in his hand as a promise of his return. She felt a mix of hope and trepidation, knowing she had done what she felt was right, despite the disdain of her peers. The rest of the day passed in a blur of heat and relentless activity. Vicky continued her work with the same unwavering dedication, but her thoughts kept drifting back to the elderly man. She wondered about his life and what circumstances had led him to that moment of need. Each customer she helped seemed to remind her of the encounter and the small act of kindness she had extended. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the pavement, the gas station finally quieted down. Vicky took a moment to rest, leaning against the counter inside the station. The cool air was a welcome relief from the oppressive heat outside. The manager, a stern man named Mr. Thompson, approached her. "Vicky," he said, his tone neutral, "I heard about what happened today. Did you really take money from the register?" Vicky straightened up, her heart sinking. "No, Mr. Thompson," she replied, her voice steady as she met his gaze. "I used my own money. That gentleman needed help, and I believed him, Mr." Thompson sighed deeply, rubbing his temples with a look of resignation. "I understand your intentions, Vicky, but we have rules for a reason. If we start making exceptions, it could lead to bigger problems down the line." Vicky's eyes filled with a profound sadness, yet she stood her ground firmly. "I did what I felt was right," she said softly, but with a hint of defiance. "Sometimes rules need to bend for the sake of humanity, Mr. Thompson looked at her for a long moment, his expression a mixture of frustration and understanding, before shaking his head. "I'm sorry, Vicky. It's too late now. You're dismissed." The words hit Vicky like a punch to the gut, and she felt tears pricking at the corners of her eyes. Gathering her things with a heavy heart, she walked out of the gas station. Her conscience was clear, even if it had cost her job. As the sun began its slow descent, casting a warm, golden glow over the gas station, the hustle and bustle gradually subsided. The once crowded pumps were now sporadically occupied, and the hum of engines gave way to the occasional chirping of birds. Vicky took a moment to catch her breath, wiping the sweat from her brow. Just as she was lost in her thoughts, the sharp voice of the station manager, Mr. Thompson, cut through the stillness. "Vicky, can I see you in my office?" His tone was neutral, but there was an edge to it that made Vicky's heart sink. Vicky followed him into the small, dimly lit office at the back of the station. The walls were adorned with outdated posters, and stacks of paperwork cluttered the desk. "Mr. Thompson sat down behind the desk, gesturing for Vicky to take a seat. "I heard about what happened today," he began, folding his hands in front of him. "Did you really take money from the register?" Vicky shook her head, her voice steady but laced with sadness. "No, Mr. Thompson. I used my own money. That gentleman was in need, and I believed him. He promised to come back and pay me." Mr. Thompson sighed, leaning back in his chair. "Vicky, we have rules for a reason. If we make exceptions, it sets a precedent. Other customers might think they can delay payment, and that could create problems for us." "I understand the rule," Vicky replied, her gaze unwavering, "but sometimes humanity should come before policies. That man was desperate, and I couldn't just turn him away." The manager's face hardened. "I appreciate your sentiment, but we can't afford to operate on trust alone. It's too late now. I'm afraid I have no choice but to let you go." The weight of his words hit Vicky like a blow to the chest. She felt tears welling up but blinked them back, refusing to let them fall. "I understand," she said quietly, "but I don't regret what I did." Mr. Thompson nodded curtly. "You can collect your things and leave. I'll process your final paycheck." Vicky stood up, her legs feeling weak beneath her. She gathered her belongings, her movements mechanical and slow. Her colleagues watched in silence, some with pity, others with indifference. As Vicky stepped outside, the cool evening air hit her face, mingling with the warmth of her tears. She walked home, the streets bathed in the soft light of dusk. At home, Vicky sat in the small, cozy living room she shared with her mother, Rachel, and her daughter, Anna. The modest furniture and simple decorations spoke of a life of hard work and modest means. Rachel, sensing something was wrong, looked up from her knitting. "Vicky, what happened?" Vicky took a deep breath, steadying her voice. "I lost my job today." Anna, who had been doing her homework at the kitchen table, looked up, her young face etched with concern. "Why, Mom?" Vicky explained the situation, her voice calm but tinged with sadness. She spoke of the elderly man, her decision to help him, and the subsequent dismissal. Rachel listened quietly, her eyes reflecting both worry and pride. Anna's eyes filled with tears, but she quickly wiped them away, trying to be strong for her mother. "That was a kind thing you did," Rachel said softly. "Sometimes doing the right thing comes with a price, but it's important to stay true to who you are." Vicky nodded, her heart heavy but her spirit unbroken. Rachel's eyes filled with worry, but she masked it with a calm demeanor. "We'll figure it out, Vicky. We always do," she said reassuringly. The days that followed were marked by a series of small but significant struggles. Rachel, in an effort to keep the household afloat, made the difficult decision to sell some of the family's precious heirlooms. She parted with a silver brooch that had been in the family for generations and a delicate porcelain tea set, each sale a painful but necessary step. Vicky watched with a heavy heart as her mother handed over the items to a local antique dealer. Rachel's stoic expression masked the pain of parting with these treasures. "We'll buy them back one day," Rachel said with a determined smile, trying to lift her daughter's spirits. Anna, sensing the tension, began to worry about her schooling. One evening, as Vicky tucked her into bed, Anna asked, "Mom, will I have to stop going to school?" Vicky's heart ached at the question. She brushed a stray lock of hair from Anna's forehead and kissed her gently. "We'll do everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen, sweetie. Just focus on your studies, okay?" Anna nodded, but the worry in her eyes remained. Vicky knew that the financial strain was not just affecting her, it was a burden shared by her entire family. The house, once filled with laughter and light-hearted conversations, now echoed with the unspoken fears and uncertainties of their future. Despite the hardships, the family's resilience shone through their supportive interactions. Rachel continued to knit, creating beautiful scarves and blankets that she sold at the local market. Anna, though young, offered to help around the house more, cleaning and cooking with a diligence that touched Vicky's heart. One evening, as they sat around the dinner table, Vicky looked at her mother and daughter, feeling a surge of gratitude. "I'm so proud of both of you," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "We're a team, and we'll get through this together." Rachel reached across the table, taking Vicky's hand in hers. "We always have, and we always will," she said firmly. "Remember, it's not about the material things we lose, but about the love and support we have for each other." Anna nodded enthusiastically. "Together we possess an indomitable strength," she declared, her youthful face radiating unwavering determination. Vicky's heart swelled with a newfound sense of hope and optimism. Each challenge she encountered only fortified her resolve. Vicky was steadfast in her quest to secure another job and provide for her beloved family. Each sunrise brought with it a fresh wave of purpose and commitment. Her mornings were a ritual of scouring job listings, refining her resume, and crafting compelling cover letters. Though her days were filled with relentless effort and exhaustion, she remained undeterred. Each rejection email stung like a dagger, but Vicky's spirit was unyielding. The fatigue etched lines on her face and hunched her shoulders, yet her resolve remained unbroken. She knew surrender was never an option. Vicky spent countless hours in the local library, diligently filling out online applications and researching prospective employers. She attended numerous interviews, always dressed in her finest attire, wearing a hopeful smile that masked her nerves. Despite the ceaseless rejections, she clung to her optimism, convinced that the right opportunity would eventually present itself. One afternoon, as she perused job listings, she discovered a position for a gas station attendant in a far-flung neighborhood. The distance was daunting, and the commute would be long, but the job description seemed promising. With a deep breath and a hopeful heart, she submitted her application. A few days later, her phone rang with a call from the gas station's manager, inviting her for an interview. The manager's friendly tone kindled a spark of hope within her. She meticulously prepared for the interview, rehearsing potential questions and perfecting her responses. The morning of the interview dawned bleak and cold. The sky was overcast, and a biting wind whipped through the streets. Undeterred, Vicky bundled up in her warmest coat and set off early, bracing herself for the lengthy journey. She navigated crowded buses and trudged through rain-soaked streets, her determination unwavering. Upon arriving at the gas station, she was greeted by a middle-aged man with a kind smile. "You must be Vicky," he said, extending his hand. "I'm Mr. Rufus, the manager here. It's a pleasure to meet you." Vicky shook his hand firmly. "Thank you for seeing me, Mr. Rufus," she replied, her voice steady despite the nervous flutter in her stomach. The interview took place in a small, cozy office. Mr. Rufus inquired about her previous experience and her motivation for wanting the job. Vicky spoke candidly about her situation, her dedication to her family, and her relentless determination to work hard. She emphasized her eagerness to learn and her positive outlook. "Mr." Rufus listened intently, nodding occasionally. "You have quite the story, Vicky," he said thoughtfully. "It's clear that you're a hard worker and very dedicated. I appreciate your honesty and determination." Vicky felt a glimmer of hope. "Thank you, Mr. Rufus. I believe I can be a valuable addition to your team." After a few more questions, Mr. Rufus leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. "I like your attitude, Vicky. I think you'd fit in well here. The job is yours if you want it." Vicky's heart soared. "Thank you so much, Mr. Rufus. I won't let you down," she said, her voice brimming with gratitude. Mr. Rufus smiled. "I'm sure you won't. We'll start your training tomorrow. Welcome aboard, Vicky." As she left the gas station, a sense of triumph enveloped her. The long commute and harsh weather seemed trivial in the face of this new opportunity. She couldn't wait to share the good news with Rachel and Anna. That evening, as Vicky walked through the door of their modest home, she was greeted by the comforting warmth of her family. Rachel looked up from her knitting, and Anna rushed to her side. "How did it go?" Mom Anna asked, her eyes wide with anticipation. Vicky beamed. "I got the job," she announced, her voice filled with excitement. Rachel's face lit up with pride. "I knew you could do it," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "This is wonderful news." Vicky Anna hugged her mother tightly. "I'm so proud of you, Mom." As she sat down to dinner with Rachel and Anna, Vicky felt a renewed sense of hope. The road to stability was long, but she had taken the first crucial step. Vicky's new job at the distant gas station marked a fresh start, a chance to rebuild and prove herself once again. The journey was arduous, but each step carried her closer to a better future for her family. As she stepped into her role, Vicky was determined to make the most of this opportunity. The first day began with a warm welcome from Mr. Rufus, the manager who had given her this chance. "Good morning, Vicky," he greeted with a smile. "I'm glad to have you on board. Let's get you started with the basics." Vicky followed him through the station, taking in the layout and the various tasks she would need to master. The station was modest but busy, with a steady stream of customers throughout the day. Mr. Rufus introduced her to the team, a mix of seasoned employees and new hires like herself. Her first few days were a whirlwind of activity. Vicky learned to manage the cash register, handle customer queries, and perform routine maintenance tasks. Each task presented its own set of challenges, but she tackled them with determination and a willingness to learn. The work was demanding, and Vicky often found herself exhausted by the end of her shifts, but she never let fatigue dampen her spirits. Interactions with customers became the highlight of her day. Vicky's natural warmth and kindness shone through in every conversation. She greeted each person with a genuine smile, listened attentively to their needs, and offered assistance wherever she could. Over time, her efforts began to pay off. One particularly busy afternoon, a frazzled mother with 2 young children approached the counter. "Excuse me, do you have a restroom we can use?" she asked, her voice tinged with desperation. Vicky nodded and pointed towards the back. "Of course, ma'am. It's just around the corner." "Let me grab you the key," the woman sighed with relief. "Thank you so much. It's been a long drive." As the woman headed to the restroom, Vicky fetched a couple of juice boxes and a small snack for the children, handing them over with a smile. "Here you go, kids. Something to keep you busy while you wait." The children's faces lit up, and their mother returned, gratitude evident in her eyes. "You're a lifesaver." Thank you. Small gestures like these gradually earned Vicky the respect and appreciation of the customers. Her colleagues, initially indifferent, began to notice her dedication and kindness. One evening, as they were closing up, one of her co-workers, a young man named Jack approached her. "Vicky, I've noticed how good you are with the customers," he said, a hint of admiration in his voice. "You make it look easy." "But I know it's not." Vicky smiled modestly. "Thank you, Jack. It means a lot to hear that." The acknowledgement from her peers reinforced her belief that she was on the right path. With each passing day, Vicky's confidence grew. The once daunting tasks became second nature, and her interactions with customers and colleagues became more meaningful. She was not just earning a paycheck, she was building a community. Her journey had been long and filled with challenges, but she had proven to herself that she could rise above any obstacle. As she looked back on her experiences, she felt a profound sense of gratitude and accomplishment. The struggles she had faced only made her stronger and more determined. Vicky's story was a testament to the power of perseverance, hope, and the unwavering belief in a better tomorrow. "Thanks, Jack. I just try to treat everyone with the same kindness I'd want for myself," Vicky responded sincerely, her eyes reflecting her genuine intent. This heartfelt approach gradually won over her colleagues, leading to deeper connections and mutual respect. Vicky began to form meaningful bonds with her coworkers, sharing personal stories during breaks and readily offering assistance whenever needed. These newfound relationships fostered a sense of camaraderie, making the arduous days more bearable and enriching her life with a supportive community. Vicky's journey at the gas station brought a sense of stability and purpose to her life. Her dedication earned her the respect of her colleagues and the appreciation of the customers she served with unwavering kindness. Despite her hard work and growing sense of accomplishment, the shadow of her past loomed ominously, threatening to unravel the peace she had painstakingly built. One morning, as Vicky arrived at the gas station ready to start her shift, she was greeted warmly by her colleagues, but the atmosphere quickly changed when Mr. Rufus called her into his office. His serious expression caused a knot to form in her stomach. "Vicky, I need to discuss something important, Mr. Rufus began, gesturing for her to sit down. Vicky complied, her heart pounding with anxiety. "Is everything all right, Mr. Rufus?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. He sighed, rubbing his temples in frustration. "I received a call this morning from your previous employer, Mr. Thompson. He accused you of dishonesty and warned me against keeping you on staff, Mr. Rufus explained. Vicky's eyes widened in shock and disbelief. "That's not true, Mr. Rufus. I used my own money to help an elderly man. I would never steal or be dishonest," she protested, her voice filled with desperation. "Mr. Rufus raised a hand to calm her. "I believe you, Vicky, but these allegations are serious and have raised concerns among the higher-ups. They are worried about the station's reputation," he said sympathetically. Vicky felt her world collapsing around her. "What can I do to prove my innocence?" she pleaded. "Mr. Rufus looked at her with genuine sympathy. "I've seen your dedication and hard work, but this decision isn't solely mine. The company is concerned about potential repercussions. For now, they've decided to suspend you until we can resolve this," he explained. Vicky's heart sank into despair. "Suspend me? But Mr. Rufus, this job means everything to me. I can't afford to lose it," she implored, tears welling up in her eyes. "Mr. Rufus sighed again, his face etched with regret. "I'm truly sorry, Vicky. I'll do my best to advocate for you, but for now, there's nothing more I can do," he said softly. Vicky left his office feeling numb and defeated. She gathered her belongings and walked out of the gas station, her colleagues' concerned glances following her every step. The walk home felt unbearably long and lonely, each step weighted with sorrow and uncertainty. She had worked tirelessly to build a new life, and now it was slipping through her fingers because of a spiteful lie. At home, Vicky found Rachel and Anna in the kitchen, preparing lunch. Their smiles faded when they saw her tear-streaked face. "Vicky, what happened?" Rachel asked, her voice laden with concern. Vicky took a deep breath, fighting back the tears. "Mr. Thompson, my old manager, called my new job and told them I was dishonest. They've suspended me until they can sort it out," she explained, her voice breaking. Anna rushed to her side, hugging her tightly. "Mom, that's not fair. You didn't do anything wrong," Anna cried, her small arms wrapped around her mother. Vicky hugged her daughter back, her heart aching with pain and frustration. "I know, sweetheart, but sometimes people try to hurt others out of spite," she said softly. Rachel stepped forward, placing a reassuring hand on Vicky's shoulder. "We'll get through this, Vicky. We faced worse, and we've come out stronger," Rachel said firmly. Vicky nodded, though the weight of the situation threatened to overwhelm her. She spent the rest of the day in a daze, the fear and uncertainty hanging over her like a dark cloud. The next few days were agonizing, each one a mix of anxiety and determination as she navigated the uncertain path ahead. During one of these tense afternoons, Vicky's phone rang, displaying an unfamiliar number. "Hello, this is Vicky," she answered, trying to keep her voice steady. "Hello, Vicky. My name is Chandler," the voice on the other end said warmly. "I'm Lewis's son, the gentleman you helped at the gas station." Vicky's heart skipped a beat. "Oh yes, I remember your father. How is he?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "He's doing well thanks to your kindness. He told me everything about what you did for him. I wanted to thank you personally and also discuss something important." "May I visit you?" Chandler asked. Vicky sensed the sincerity in his voice and was taken aback by the request. "Of course you can come by. I'll text you my address," she replied. "Thank you, Vicky. I'll be there soon," Chandler said, relief evident in his tone. Vicky hung up and immediately sent her address, feeling a mix of curiosity and anticipation. She informed Rachel and Anna about the upcoming visit, and they quickly tidied up the small living room. As the minutes ticked by, Vicky couldn't help but wonder about the nature of Chandler's visit. When the doorbell finally rang, Vicky took a deep breath and opened the door. Standing there was a well-dressed man in his early 40s, holding a small briefcase. His eyes were kind, and he extended a hand with a warm smile. "Vicky, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Chandler," he introduced himself. "Please come in," Vicky replied, shaking his hand and stepping aside to let him in. Chandler entered and greeted Rachel and Anna with the same warmth. They all settled in the living room, and Chandler placed the briefcase on the coffee table. "Thank you for allowing me to visit, Vicky. I wanted to discuss something that could potentially help your situation," Chandler began, his tone earnest. Vicky listened intently, hope stirring within her. "My father told me about the selfless act you did for him, and it moved me deeply. Your kindness and integrity are clear. I believe I can help clear your name," Chandler explained. Vicky's eyes filled with tears of gratitude and relief. "Thank you, Chandler. I can't express how much this means to me," she said, her voice choked with emotion. "Let's start by documenting everything that happened with Mr. Thompson and your previous job. I have some connections that might be able to expedite the investigation," Chandler suggested. Vicky nodded, feeling a renewed sense of hope. They spent the next few hours going over every detail, Chandler taking meticulous notes and offering reassurance. By the time Chandler left, Vicky felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She hugged Rachel and Anna, her heart brimming with gratitude and optimism. The road ahead was still uncertain, but with Chandler's help, she felt equipped to face whatever challenges lay in her path. Vicky knew that her journey was far from over, but she was determined to fight for her dignity and her family's future. "I wanted to thank you in person for what you did for my father," Chandler began, his voice rich with sincerity. "He's been struggling with Alzheimer's, and that day he was very confused. Your kindness meant the world to him." Vicky smiled, deeply moved by his words. It was the least I could do. He seemed so distressed, and I couldn't just turn him away, she responded, her voice soft yet firm. Chandler nodded, appreciation shining in his eyes. Your empathy and generosity are rare, Vicky. My father was deeply moved, and so am I. I wanted to repay the money you used to help him. He opened his briefcase and extracted a thick envelope. Here's $10,000, he said, extending it towards Vicky. Vicky's eyes widened in astonishment. 10,000? That's far too much. I only used a small amount to help him. Chandler smiled warmly. Consider it a gesture of our gratitude. You've shown such kindness, and this is the least we can do to repay you. Vicky hesitated, overwhelmed by the enormity of the gesture. I don't know what to say. This is incredibly generous, but I can't accept it. It's too much. Chandler gently placed the envelope in her hands. Please, Vicky, we insist. You helped my father when he needed it most. Let us help you now. Vicky looked at Rachel and Anna, both of whom nodded encouragingly. With tears welling up in her eyes, she finally accepted the envelope. Thank you, Chandler. This means so much to us, she said, her voice choked with emotion. Chandler continued. There's something else I need to tell you. I'm actually the owner of the gas station where you used to work. Vicky's eyes widened again, this time in disbelief. You're the owner? Yes, Chandler confirmed. I wasn't aware of what happened to you until recently. My father told me about you, and I started looking into your situation. I'm deeply sorry for what you've been through. Vicky's emotions were a whirlwind. Thank you, Chandler. It's been a difficult time, but I've been trying to stay strong for my family, she said, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Chandler nodded, his expression serious. I understand, and I want to help. I've already spoken to Mr. Rufus. He believes in your integrity and has been advocating for you. We're working on clearing your name and reinstating you at the station. Vicky felt a surge of hope. I can't thank you enough, Chandler. This job means everything to me and my family. We'll make sure justice is served, Vicky. You've shown remarkable strength and kindness, and we need more people like you on our team, Chandler said, his voice filled with conviction. As the conversation continued, Chandler shared more about his father's condition and the challenges they faced. Vicky listened with empathy, offering her support and understanding. The visit, which had started with a simple act of gratitude, blossomed into a heartfelt exchange of stories and mutual respect. When Chandler finally left, Vicky felt a profound sense of relief and optimism. The envelope of money was a lifeline, but more importantly, the promise of regaining her job and reputation lifted a tremendous weight off her shoulders. She shared the good news with Rachel and Anna, their faces lighting up with joy and hope. That night, as Vicky lay in bed, she reflected on the unexpected turn of events. The kindness she had shown to a stranger had come full circle, bringing not only financial relief but also the possibility of restoring her career and dignity. However, the most surprising part was yet to come. A few days after their first meeting, Chandler called Vicky again, his tone as warm and earnest as ever. Vicky, I'd like to discuss something important with you. Could we meet again? Of course, Chandler. When would be convenient for you? Vicky replied, her curiosity piqued. Tomorrow morning, if that works for you. I'll come by your place, Chandler suggested. That sounds good. I'll see you then, Vicky agreed, feeling a mixture of anticipation and nervousness. The next morning, Chandler arrived promptly. Vicky welcomed him into their modest home, and they settled in the living room. Rachel and Anna, sensing the importance of the conversation, gave them some privacy. Vicky, there's a significant opportunity I want to discuss with you, Chandler began, his expression earnest. Given your dedication and the impact you've had on my father, I believe you have the potential for something much greater. Vicky listened intently, her heart racing with curiosity. "I'd like to offer you a managerial position at one of our new gas station locations. Your empathy and leadership qualities are exactly what we need," he proposed, his eyes searching hers for a reaction. Vicky's mind raced. This was beyond anything she had imagined. A managerial position, she echoed, her voice tinged with disbelief and excitement. "Yes, Vicky. I believe in your abilities, and I want to give you the chance to prove yourself in a role that matches your potential," Chandler affirmed. Vicky felt tears of gratitude welling up once more. "I don't know how to thank you, Chandler. This is an incredible opportunity. I'll work hard to prove that your faith in me is justified." Chandler smiled, a look of satisfaction on his face. "I have no doubt that you will, Vicky. Welcome to the team." Chandler began without preamble. "Vicky, I've been deeply impressed by your character and the strength you've shown through these difficult times. My father's story and the way you handled the situation at the gas station have convinced me of your integrity and dedication." Vicky listened intently, unsure where this was leading but grateful for his kind words. "I've been thinking," Chandler continued, "we need someone like you in a leadership position at my gas station. Someone who not only understands the work but also embodies the values we strive to uphold. I would like to offer you the position of manager." Vicky's eyes widened in shock. "Manager? Chandler, I don't know what to say. This is such an unexpected offer," Chandler smiled. "I know it's a lot to take in, but I'm confident you're the right person for the job. You've shown incredible resilience and compassion. Those are qualities I deeply value in a leader." Vicky's mind raced. The thought of taking on such a significant role was both exhilarating and daunting. "I'm honored, Chandler, truly, but are you sure?" "I've only been with the company for a short time," Chandler nodded firmly. "I'm very sure, Vicky. Your actions speak volumes about your character. I believe you'll bring a fresh perspective and a strong moral compass to the team. Of course, I'll provide you with all the support and training you need." Vicky felt a surge of gratitude and excitement. "Thank you, Chandler. This means so much to me. I'll do my best to live up to your expectations." They discussed the details of the position, the responsibilities, and the support system Chandler had in place. The more they talked, the more Vicky felt a growing sense of confidence. She knew it would be challenging, but she was ready to take it on. After Chandler left, Vicky gathered Rachel and Anna to share the news. The kitchen, usually bustling with the sounds of cooking and conversation, fell silent as they listened intently. "Mom, you're going to be a manager," Anna exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. Vicky nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "Yes, can you believe it? Chandler has offered me the position, and I've accepted." Rachel's eyes filled with tears of pride. "Vicky, this is wonderful news. You've worked so hard and faced so many challenges. You deserve this opportunity." Anna hugged her mother tightly. "I'm so proud of you, Mom. This is amazing." Vicky felt overwhelmed with emotion as she embraced her daughter. "Thank you both for always believing in me. This wouldn't be possible without your support." The following days were a whirlwind of preparation and planning. Vicky immersed herself in learning everything she could about the managerial role. She spent long hours at the gas station, shadowing Chandler and other managers, absorbing as much knowledge as possible. Chandler's trust in her abilities and his constant encouragement bolstered her confidence. Vicky's first day as manager was filled with a mix of nerves and excitement. She arrived early, the station bathed in the soft glow of the morning sun. Chandler was there to greet her, offering a reassuring smile. "You're going to do great, Vicky," he said. "Just remember to trust yourself and the values that brought you here." Vicky nodded, taking a deep breath. "Thank you, Chandler. I'm ready." Throughout the day, Vicky's interactions with her team and customers showcased her natural leadership skills. She handled problems with calm efficiency, listened to her team's concerns with empathy, and made decisions with a clear moral perspective. The respect she had already earned from her colleagues only grew as they saw her step into her new role with grace and competence. As the days turned into weeks, Vicky's leadership blossomed. She introduced new initiatives to improve customer service and streamline operations. Her team responded positively to her leadership style, appreciating her approachability and willingness to lead by example. Customers noticed the changes too, often commenting on the improved atmosphere at the station. Vicky's kindness, resilience, and unwavering commitment to her values began to transform not just her workplace, but also her life and the lives of those around her. One afternoon, a delivery truck arrived late, causing a backlog at the station. Tensions ran high as customers grew impatient. Vicky stepped in, coordinating the team to manage the situation smoothly. She personally spoke to each customer, apologizing for the delay and ensuring their needs were met. By the end of the ordeal, the customers' frustrations had eased, and her team was back on track. Chandler watched from a distance, nodding in approval. Later, he pulled Vicky aside. "You handled that exceptionally well. This is exactly why I knew you were the right choice." Vicky felt a sense of accomplishment. "Thank you, Chandler. It was a team effort." Everyone pulled together as weeks turned into months. Vicky's impact on the gas station became increasingly evident. She implemented new procedures to improve efficiency, fostered a positive work environment, and initiated community outreach programs. Her approachability and fairness earned her the unwavering loyalty of her team. At home, the changes were just as significant. The financial stability provided by her new role allowed Rachel to stop selling their precious heirlooms, and Anna's worries about school dissipated. The atmosphere in their modest home was lighter, filled with laughter and hope. One evening, as the family sat down to dinner, Rachel raised her glass. "To Vicky, our pillar of strength. You've shown us that with determination and kindness, we can overcome any challenge." Anna chimed in. "And to new beginnings. We're so proud of you, Mom." Vicky, her heart brimming with gratitude, clinked her glass with theirs. "Thank you both. This journey hasn't been easy, but we've made it together. Here's to many more milestones and a bright future ahead." The sense of unity and shared triumph filled the room, a testament to their resilience and unwavering support for one another. Vicky knew there would still be challenges, but with her family by her side and the values that guided her, she was ready for whatever the future held. As we reach the end of Vicky's incredible journey, her story stands as a testament to the power of perseverance, kindness, and unwavering support. Vicky's life transformed significantly because of her dedication and the love of those around her. It's a reminder that everything happens for a reason, and happiness will come to those who stay true to their values and continue to strive forward. Thank you for watching and following Vicky's inspiring story. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories and updates. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Stay tuned for more heartwarming tales. Here's the story slightly expanded and detailed to better meet your request for added emotional depth. One afternoon, a delivery truck arrived late, causing a significant backlog at the gas station. The air was thick with frustration as customers began to voice their impatience. Recognizing the mounting tension, Vicky quickly sprang into action. With calm precision, she coordinated her team to manage the situation smoothly, directing tasks and offering reassurance. She personally approached each customer, her voice sincere as she apologized for the delay and promised swift service. By the end of the ordeal, the customer's anger had softened into understanding, and her team had regained its momentum. Chandler watched from a distance, his expression one of approval and pride. Later, he pulled Vicky aside. "You handled that exceptionally well. This is exactly why I knew you were the right choice," he said, his voice filled with genuine admiration. Vicky felt a swell of pride and accomplishment. "Thank you, Chandler. It was a team effort. Everyone pulled together," she replied modestly. As weeks turned into months, the changes Vicky brought to the gas station became increasingly evident. She introduced new procedures that streamlined operations and boosted efficiency. Her efforts to create a positive work environment fostered a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect among her team. Additionally, Vicky initiated community outreach programs, further solidifying the station's reputation and connection to the local community. Her approachability and fairness earned her the unwavering loyalty of her team. At home, the changes were equally profound. The financial stability provided by her new role allowed Rachel to stop selling their precious heirlooms, and Anna's worries about school expenses faded away. The atmosphere in their modest home was lighter, filled with laughter and newfound hope. One evening, as the family sat down to dinner, Rachel raised her glass. "To Vicky, our pillar of strength. You've shown us that with determination and kindness, we can overcome any challenge," she said, her voice thick with emotion. Anna eagerly chimed in. "And to new beginnings. We're so proud of you." Mom Vicky, her heart brimming with gratitude and joy, clinked her glass with theirs. "Thank you both. This journey hasn't been easy, but we've made it together. Here's to many more milestones and a bright future ahead," she said, her voice steady with conviction. The sense of unity and shared triumph filled the room, a testament to their resilience and unwavering support for one another. Vicky knew there would still be challenges ahead, but with her family by her side and the values that guided her, she was ready for whatever the future held. As we reach the end of Vicky's incredible journey, her story stands as a powerful testament to the transformative power of perseverance, kindness, and unwavering support. Vicky's life transformed significantly because of her dedication and the love of those around her. Her story is a reminder that everything happens for a reason, and that happiness will come to those who stay true to their values and continue to strive forward, despite the obstacles they face. Thank you for watching and following Vicky's inspiring story. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories and updates. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Stay tuned for more heartwarming tales.